really good week for the club, both on the field in terms of the two great wins at AFL and VFL level, but pleasingly we didn't add to our injury list, and that's coming down all the time. We had Jamie Elliott, Jordan DeGoey and Adam Oxley all returned in our VFL side last Saturday against the Northern Blues. So that's great that those boys are back up and going, and all put in pretty strong performances too. Daniel Wells is set to resume in our VFL program this week, which is also good news. His Achilles and hamstring tightness that he'd been experiencing, he's on top of that. So we expect a good strong week on the track from Daniel, and he'll return through our VFL program this week. Cale Kirby, who, as you'd be aware, had that heart scare 10 or so days ago, he has undergone some testing. He'll undergo a few more tests before we allow him to resume full training. He started to do a little bit of activity, and all reports on the surface at least say that he'll make a full recovery, but we obviously need to run a few more tests to ensure that that is the case. Levi with his knee is getting better all the time in terms of the diminution of the pain, which has been one of the issues, the pain that he's been suffering with that knee injury, but that's got better each session that he's completed, and he's not too far away from resuming. I would expect next week he does a pretty strong session in terms of the program, and which will see him knocking on the door for selection. Darcy, we're hoping that Darcy is available round 5, round 6. You'd also be aware that the Anzac Day game is followed by a game only 4 days later, so right now it's too early to predict whether he'll be available for, or which one of those games he will be available for, but we're hoping that it is either one. So he's progressing quite well with that hamstring rehab. Similar to Josh Smith, Josh has come through his rehab program strong. His hamstring injury, which was suffered a week or so before Darts, has progressed well, and we would hope that his time frame is similar to Darcy's, in that round 5, potentially round 6 return to play. The other two boys are the long-term injuries, obviously, in Timmy Broomhead with his broken leg. He'll be in at the club this week to see the boys for a start. Obviously a number have been visiting him, but he'll pay us a visit this week, the club. And Goldie's already been around, and he started the long road back in terms of his rehab with his knee. But as I said, pleasing week in that we didn't add to the injury list, and the boys that have been on long-term injuries have either started to return or are making really good progress. So let's hope that continues.